And welcome back to the Financially Simple Experience. Today, friends, we're going to touch home plate. We've been dealing with this concept called the wealth game for a few episodes now, and we originally laid it out as, hey, we've got this baseball diamond approach. We all start off at home plate, and we run the bases. We run to first, run to second, run to third, and today we're going to conclude the rounding the bases. We're going to reach home plate, and the stadium's going to go wild. I know you can't wait. You see, whether you realize it or not, we're all playing the wealth game. Every one of us. It doesn't matter where you're at in life at this particular point. You are playing this game. Some never get off first base, while others turn the bag and they find themselves very quickly on second base. And the lucky few find themselves with very little conflict reaching third base. Whereas others, they do everything in their life just to make it to first base, and they struggle to get to second base, and they've done everything they can, and they end up making it halfway between second or third. No matter where you're at in this game of wealth, we all should desire, we all must desire to finish the game. So I want to wrap up this particular season by talking about home plate. What does winning the game look like? Yes, we all know in the baseball analogy, we hit the ball, we run the bases, we reach home, we go through the 9 innings of baseball, and then we win the game and the stadium goes wild, and perhaps we make it all the way to the World Series. That is the pinnacle. In our financial life, though, we may not make it to the World Series, but friends, we can reach home plate. Home plate is reached when we've rounded the bases. We've now created a lifestyle at third base to where we're living off our assets, our dividends, our interest, our capital gains. The income off our assets is growing, and it's providing us the income we need to live our life. And it's multiplying. It enables us to live this lifestyle that we've desired. But now we've reached home, and it's no longer about us. As I mentioned last time, that third base coach, your financial advisor, your financial planner should be yelling and screaming at you to, hey, run home. Stop thinking about you. You've got you taken care of. Let's now start thinking about future generations. Let's start thinking about generosity. Let's start thinking about philanthropy. Let's start thinking about helping others who have been less fortunate. I've said it a couple of times. The statement my dad made has made a lasting impression on my life that, son, life is not about getting all you can. Getting as much assets as you can, canning all you get, setting it in a can and sitting on it. That's not what life's about. There's movies made about that. I mentioned it last time. Ebenezer Scrooge. He was a miser. He lived so frugal. In the end, he found out that money was not the source of joy. So friends, this game of wealth has never been about creating money. It's been about creating wealth so that we can reach home plate, so we can bless others. The 3 primary characteristics of the prestigious people that I see who reach home plate is this. Number 1, they create generational wealth. They take care of future generations. They provide them an opportunity to take a head start around the bases. They take financial literacy with every fiber of their being serious. They not only do they take it serious, they teach it. They teach it to their kids, their grandkids, anybody who's willing to listen. I can remember one of the very first wealthy individuals I ever met. I grew up in the islands of South Georgia, and if anybody knows the St. Simon Sea Island area, there's some sincere wealth down there in that area of the country. And I can remember sitting down with this individual, and I was about 10 or 11 years old, and he was, at the time, this is years ago, he was using the Wall Street Journal and tracking stocks. And he was teaching me at 10 years of age how to read the stock charts, how to understand how stock trading worked, what a stock was, how the prices moved every day. This individual, for weeks upon end, after his long days of working within his own business, would sit down with me and instruct me. He was oh so sincere about teaching other generations financial literacy. And a lot of what I have today in my life is from people who poured into my life, teaching me financial literacy. There's a few people that I would call out today. I've spoken to two of these three individuals, but I would call it these three individuals today because these individuals impacted my life paramountly, and candidly, they made me who I am. One of the first would be Rick Edelman. Rick Edelman, I was honored to have him write the foreword on my book, Your Baby's Ugly. Rick Edelman's book, The Truth About Money, impacted my life as a 20-year-old. I followed his career. I followed his writings. I listened. I absorbed every radio station that the man speaks because I look at him as somebody who's reached home plate and he's pouring into others through the power of a microphone, through the power of media. And Rick, if you ever hear this, man, thank you. You've helped me. Another is Dave Ramsey. Now, Dave Ramsey is polarizing. That's okay. Do we agree with everything that everybody says? No. But Dave Ramsey impacted my life. The Total Money Makeover, his book, and Financial Peace showed me that it's okay not to follow academics 100% of the time. I can still reach my goals by being a steward of the resources God's entrusted to me. And for so many out there, Dave Ramsey's teachings, though simplified, are so complex. If we grasp really what he's teaching, friends, we master the game of wealth. So Dave, if you ever hear this, buddy, thank you. I know you and I have met in the past, but thank you. Another one is Robert Kiyosaki. Now, he's total polarizing opposite view of Dave Ramsey, and that's okay. But Robert Kiyosaki, his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, was the very first book I ever read cover to cover through. And to this day, I challenge every single person I meet, have you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Because the principles along that book is paramount. Now, I've never had the opportunity to meet Robert Kiyosaki. I hope sometime in my future I do. I want to shake him by the hand and tell him thank you. Thank you for pouring in and teaching others financial literacy. See, this is what I notice about people who reach home plate. Is it's no longer about them. They want to take care of their families. They want to take care of others. And then they become generous. They set up foundations. The people who I see that give the most to charity as a percentage of net worth are those who are the most blessed, those who worked hard to master this game of wealth. They often do it quietly. They're on third base. They're running from second to third, and they're giving away so much. But yet so much is coming back to them because of the generosity. So winning the game is powerful, friends. You can set up generational wealth. You begin able to teach others your experiences, your pitfalls, your successes, and how you can help others, and you begin becoming generous, more so than ever. Investopedia defines generational wealth as asset passed by one generation of a family to another. And it talks about stocks, bonds, real estate, things of that nature. The Federal Reserve measured that roughly $350 billion per year is passed generationally. In typical, about 2 million households get an inheritance or sizable gift, according to the Federal Reserve study of consumer finances. Think about that. So many people have rounded the bases. They're standing at home, and now they're blessing those around them. I can remember whenever I have a very dear family member of mine, she was my great aunt who passed away. She never had any children. We were her kids. She was my mom's aunt, but they were real close in age, and they were almost like sisters growing up. And when she passed away, she left us a nominal portion. Everything she had, she left to her nieces and nephews. My mom, who was like her sister, nieces and nephews. We didn't know what our aunt had, nor did we love her for what she was doing. But I'll never forget that. And what we did with that money was I was able to teach my kids, here's why we want to reach home plate. I can remember the impact that inheritance had on our family. It's pretty amazing. Friends, I want my family to experience that. There's some financial tools, though, that we can use as we generate wealth. The Internal Revenue Code, as Chris Mahan with Mahan and Associates one time said, the IRC is the single greatest wealth creation tool in America. And I agree with him on that, because if we understand the way that the Internal Revenue Service sets the game, they set the rules, then we can apply by the rules. Another opportunity you can use is insurance. I personally have insurance on my life. The average cost of a funeral is between $7,000 to $12,000. I know my dad's funeral was a little bit more than that. It was expensive, relatively speaking. And insurances is there not only provide for the needs of end of life decisions, but insurance is an amazing way that you can pass wealth on. If you don't know how that works, reach out to a financial planner. They can show you how to use a tool of insurance without the commission breath that so many insurance agents have. Another tool that helps us generate wealth is disability insurance. If we were to trip from first to third, then we have a substantial asset that we lose, and that is us. See, we have the greatest asset. Our ability to produce income is the single largest asset that we have many times until we reach third base. So disability insurance helps us create wealth. 25% of 20-year-olds will be out of work for at least 1 year. 25% of today's 20-year-olds will be out of work at least 1 year because of a disability before they retire. And that actually aligns with a CDC study that says that 26% of adults have some form of disability. So friends, as you're sitting here at home plate, perhaps you're saying, Justin, man, I know we have insurance. I know we have investments. I know we have compound interest. I know all these things. But man, I want to reach home plate. I want to round the bases, reach home, and turn around and bequeath or donate or give some of the wealth that I've been working hard to my family, to my friends. I want to teach others. I want to build philanthropic. The people who win the game of wealth understand the importance of one thing only. They understand the importance of having a coach to lay out their plan, to hold them accountable to reach their goal. Coaches are everywhere around us. Coaches exist in every single professional team available. These are the best of the best of the best athletes, but yet they have a coach. Even in Little League, we have coaches. The people who succeed at the game of wealth realize that they are going to have a coach to help them. A recent study by Hearts and Wallets found that 52% of households have a written financial plan, save at least 10% of their income for retirement. That doesn't happen by accident. There's a coach drawing out a plan to show them how to reach their goals. And there's a couple, husband and wife in this particular case, households who are saving toward that particular goal. That's a coach. 52% save at least 10%. In contrast, those who don't have a plan, only 36% of them save. A study from EverVestNet found that investors see an average of 3% greater portfolio return when working with a qualified financial advisor. That's just on the portfolio on that particular study, InvestNet. 3% greater. We talked about last time that Vanguard had done a study called the Advisor Study that showed that 3% greater portfolio return just working with a financial advisor. There's lots of studies out there, friends. I could quote them for days, and I have for years on the podcast. Episode by episode, I try to quote studies that show the value of working with somebody. So friends, I want to challenge you one last time as we walk through this game of wealth. No matter where you're at in the bases, maybe you're a teenager, as so many who listen to this podcast, and you say, I want to reach home plate. Man, saturate your knowledge and then work with a coach. Maybe you're between first base and second base and you're clawing your way, man, to second base. It's hard. It's hard trying to reach second base. Work with a coach that can keep you motivated. Maybe you've turned the curve and you're at second base and you've reached some monocle of success and now you're striving to reach third base. Pay attention to that coach. Friends, don't make the mistake of standing on third base. Listen to that third base coach who's yelling at you, run, run, run. Because that awaits you. It's home plate. You've won the game of wealth. Friends, I've done my best over the last 6 episodes to simplify money, to simplify life or the financial life. And though my words are often fleeting, and though my words often struggle, the game of wealth is plausible. You can win this. An amazing event happened in my life. I started a business, 20 years of growing a business, and I sold a business. As I was turning from first to second, and I was going to second, I was trying to reach third. Before too long, I found myself sitting across the table from a dear friend and attorney, and we're working on a generational wealth plan. Friends, if a country boy from South Georgia who was born and raised on a dirt road, who ran barefoot most of the time, was homeschooled and chased alligators, and now lives in Tennessee, where we have a little bit of a southern drawl, and I live on a gravel road, if I can play this game of wealth, there's not a reason why you can't. So let me encourage you, no matter where you're at in the bases, you can reach home plate. Run as fast as you can. Listen to your coach. Friends, I hope your wildest dreams come true. Until next time, y'all go out and make it a great day.